Hi, I'm Steve Miller and welcome to this latest video of how I use DxO Photolab to edit my photos. This one I've gone back to some wildlife photos of red squirrels. I recently got a new lens, so I thought I'd go out and test it. I bought it, I have bought it for doing sport, but I wanted to try it. There wasn't any sport happening, so I thought I'd go and try it on some wildlife. So I went to where I could get some red squirrel shots. But so I just thought why I've decided to do this video is I just thought I'd show you something a bit. There's something new here. There's something that I haven't really shown before, and what it's to do is the DxO modules. As you can see, I said it's a new lens. Well, it's brand new out. So DxO haven't created a module yet for this my camera and lens combination. As you can see, and this icon here at the top of the camera with the line through it, it just means there's no module available. So there's a few things that the modules actually put onto your images. I don't know whether this is everything. These are the things I know about that I need to know about. The distortion, normally it'd come with like that. It says based on the DxO module. Because there's no module, it's defaulted to manual, and I just leave that as it is. What else was there? There was the detail tab. There's the lens, the chromatic aberration. Because there's no module, it can't do that. It just has to do the old-fashioned chromatic aberration way. And the other thing is the lens sharpness. This lens sharpness optimization. So this is why I thought it'd be handy just to show you what I do here, because there's no sharpening applied. This image will look a little bit soft if you go 1:1. Felt a bit sorry for this little squirrel. Look, it's got ticks on it here, but right. So you can see it does look a little bit soft. So that's because there's no sharpening applied. Normally, sharpening would be automatically applied. I think other Lightroom and the other applications, they automatically add some sharpening to your image. So what you do, I just turn on. This is what the unsharp mask for. You might wonder why we've got unsharp mask when we got the lens sharpness optimization here. Well, one reason why we need it is this: if you haven't got a module, you can still sharpen your image. So what I did, I just went through and thought, right, for this lens, how much sharpening do we need? So I just do it by, not the best one to do on. It's not too high ISO on this one, but and then just up the radius, and I just did it by eye. Just thought, right, yep, that looks nice. That's the sort of what I'd want for this lens. So what I did, I just went in first. I opened the image just with my normal settings, and then I added an unsharp mask, and I've created a preset. So if I just reset that image. So what I do, all these images are taken with that lens, the OM50-200 Pro. So I just go in, and the preset that I've created that's got the sharpening added, I just add that's just adding all the sharpening to all them images. So you just do have to remember to untick all the images. I've done that before, where I've left them all selected, and I start customizing one image, and you're doing them all at once and you don't realise. So you just have to remember to do that. Don't have them all selected once you've put the preset onto them all. Right, so we'll just start off and we'll just go through just a quick. What I always do, I always sort of pre-visualise what do I want. It's quite an environmental shot, I'd say. It's showing it's quite a nice background, and that is you're sort of looking through other foliage to where the squirrel is. So yeah, so for this one I'd just do a quick crop. People have been asking as well about, I have all my tools over here. You find them the tools that I use on the left hand side are all over here under these tabs, but I don't use them that way because I can't move them to the left hand side. I'm left handed, so I find it easier with a Wacom tablet to use the tools at this side. So that's why my tools are here. What I've done as well, I've done them in sort of an order that I use them in. So I always do the crop first. So that comes under geometry, then detail, then lighting, and then local adjustment. So I've done them in order. But I don't even need it for this because I've got a shortcut key for the doing the crop. So if I just bring the crop in, and I don't like that dark area in that corner. I'm not so bothered about this one down here, so I just crop in a little bit. Just zoom in a bit just so I can see. Maybe something like that. As you can see, I do try and use the rule of thirds a bit there. I just got the eye there. The important bit is on the third. You know, it is worth looking at them sort of things. They are there for a reason. You don't have to stick to them, but it quite often helps. So straight away, so that's not too bad a image already. It doesn't need a lot of work doing to this. What I'll probably do as well, I will just go back into all the images, and I know these are all, this one's not too bad, but some of the other ones are high ISO. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put the Deep Prime XD2S on all these images, just because there's fur detail in there, and I know it'd do a better job. That noise reduction to do a better job for these images. So right, I'll go back to that image. This is where I don't think I might just knock the highlights down slightly on this image. We've done the detail. I'll go more into that when I do local adjustments. Let's see what we want. Let's turn the smart lighting off, see what that's done. See, that is more like what I was seeing. It was quite dark under the trees, so what the smart lighting's done, it's brightened up a bit, but I quite like what the smart lighting's done there, so I'm going to leave that. I might just knock the highlights down a little bit, just some of these little highlights here. I don't. But same again, I'll do that more on the adjustments later, and the local adjustments later. So I think that's it. What I'm going to do just on the lighting there, colour. I might knock the saturation down on the greens a little bit. They're quite bright, them greens, and I might even just take them towards a yellow because it's an autumn scene. It is at autumn, so I might just do that. Let's see if the luminance on the greens. No, I'm going to leave that as it is. Uniformity, could warm it up that way as well. Something like that. I'd say I'm just doing it all by eye. Now we're looking at the squirrel. I mean, on this one, well, let's try it. Let's see if the animal selection does actually work on this. I'm not convinced it will, because it's just because the outline of the image, it's sort of, with experience you get to sort of learn when it's going to work and when it isn't. I mean, on this one it's probably going to be better if I just use the select subject. I might even have to use, see, it's not pick the tail, so on this one I'd use the area thing. I'm sure it'll pick the tail up after. There you go. So it's just a bit of experience really, just, you know, you can sort of work out which AI masks are best for each subject. For that, so that what I'm going to do, I'm going to not work on that yet. I'm just going to duplicate that mask, and I'm going to invert it, so that's going to select the background for me. And this is where I said what I'm going to do. I'm going to drop the highlights down slightly on the background. I'll just turn that mask off. It's not looking too bad. What I do like to do as well is if I just zoom in a bit, I just knock the micro contrast down. Actually, probably better if I zoom out. I just spotted there, look, poor thing, it's got ticks under its ear there, that squirrel. Right, should I knock the contrast down slightly on the background? Just a little bit, I think. It's just sort of blurring that background a little bit, and it's looking quite nice. What else could we do here? I think I'm quite happy with the background now. There's not a lot needs doing on this image. The squirrel, I'd add a little bit of mica contrast to that. And I might even force a little bit of detail on that. I'm just going to zoom in again. This is why I use DxO Photolab, because if I'll just turn the noise reduction on, use the, I can't do it in the looper tool, I'll just, you can just see the difference there. If I turn that off and turn that on, just the difference that it does make. So that is one reason I do like using DxO Photolab. It's just the built-in noise reductions, very good. Oh, I just added a mask I didn't need to add. So we're not too far away. I mean, this is, like I say, this is just a quick initial edit. I mean, it's not really a portfolio image, this, you know, it's just a nice image that, you know, I want to do a quick edit on, really. So like I say, I would do this a lot quicker normally, but I'll just shut that local adjustments down. I might even crop that even a bit more. So we've gone from that to that. I'd come back and I'd, you know, I'd have another look. I mean, maybe I've gone a bit too warm on the background, but I would come back and have a look and see what I think later on. So this is where I'll just sort of go through now, and I'll just show you, you know, how I would go through this. I mean, this is a lot higher ISO image. I'll just show again what a difference the noise reduction makes. I mean, it's ridiculous, really, when you see that. It's, if I you just look at the detail that's bringing in, and then if I turn the loop off, just the noise that's in the background, and yeah. Right, so this one, same. I'd just have a look, think, right, this is yeah, I don't like the distractions down here. I need to get rid of them. A little bit of a crop, but not too much. I'll do my crop first. Maybe something like that. How's that looking? No, we need to move that up a bit. So I guess go something like that. Now, I don't like these distractions down here. In fact, I'm going to crop some more off that. I think it'll take it, that image will be okay. So I'm just going to crop to there. Same again, you know, rule of thirds again. I'm using these sort of third points that. Right, so heel brush. A lot of people don't say they can't take stuff out with a heel brush, but I sort of, it does a good enough job for me. It's I've got no problem with it. It's just a matter of playing around a bit. Just move that up slightly. So that'll do for that one, and then this one. I'm just using the repair tool, not the clone tool. I think I have mentioned this before in previous. Sometimes it's quite good just to turn that round so you don't see repetitive patterns. That's not too bad now. Just noticed what's that I've seen there. Just spotted a little fly or something. We'll get rid of that. Has it gone? Don't know what's happened there. Alright, don't know what happened there. I think it does get a bit temperamental when I'm recording, screen recording. This twig down here, I don't really like that, so same again, I'll bring back my heel brush, and I'll do it in 2 parts this, because it's just sometimes it's just easier to pick the areas you want if you do it twice. See, that's fine, that's done a good job. Right, same again, like I did. We're going to the local adjustments now. If anything, I think this image maybe is a little bit too bright, so I'll just go into the light, and I'm just going to drop that. I'm just going to drop that exposure down slightly. It's not too bad, and then I'm going to go into local adjustments, and what I'm going to do is, I know we've got animal AI masking now, but I want the rock as well, so I'm just going to use the area mask, so I can pick the rock up as well. So there we go, so we've got the squirrel and the rock picked, and then I'm going to go in, I'm going to duplicate that mask, and I'm going to invert it because I want to work on the background separately. So now I've got the background selected, I'll just drop the highlight slightly. I might up the shadows and the blacks. Make a contrast I'll drop, and even the contrast I'll drop slightly. And I'm gonna just drop the exposure down slightly. Looks okay. And now with the squirrel, I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to add a bit of micro contrast. Zoom in a bit. I've just created another mask that I didn't want. So that's the squirrel mask. I don't name the masks now. I used to, but when you hover over this now, it's showing me what the mask's doing anyway, so I don't even bother naming masks now. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go in, I've added a bit of micro contrast to that. I might even add a force detail. Just subtle adjustments. You probably can't even see it on the YouTube video, but it is making a slight difference on my screen. Same again, I'll just show you. I mean, it is ridiculous really what if I zoom into 1:1, well, I've just done another mask that I didn't want. If I zoom in 1:1 and then I put the loop on, so just so you can see the difference here, just what the difference that denoising's making on that. You can actually turn on the denoiser so it works all the time now, but I think it just slows the machine down too much. I'm quite happy working without the denoising on. I can see what it's doing by using the loop, so I don't think there's any point in having it on myself, but it's there. It's an option if you want it. And again, I'm going to put another. Just going to put another vignette on there. So there we go. We go from there to there, and that was quite quick, not too bad image. So I've got rid of these twigs, some distractions down here, just darkened the background a bit, and just try to make that squirrel pop out of from the background really. Right, same again, let's go on. Oh, this is quite a close-up portrait, so we'll start off, we'll do a crop. I want to leave quite a bit of negative space for it to look into. So we'll leave that there like that. I wonder if this one will be better actually flipped. I'll just have a look at this. if I flip horizontally, do I like that better? I think I do. I think I'd rather have that. I think I like that way. Yeah, I'm going to leave it flipped. You have to have film pack to be able to flip images. So if you like to flip images sometimes, like I do, film pack's worth having. Same again, I'm looking at this and thinking, right, I want to get rid of the distractions first, so let's see if we can do it with the heel brush. I'm sure we should be able to. They don't look too bad ones to do these. So we'll just get rid of them. It's looking alright. And we've got another one over here to get rid of. That one I might try my old trick of just looks okay. This one I might actually do the squirrel separate this time, so I'm going to use, let's see if the animal AI will work on this. No. This is where sometimes you just have to think, right, I'll just use the subject. It's simple enough to do. And I'm going to, same again, I'm going to duplicate and invert on the background. I'm going to drop the highlights, so the highlights are in this area, so I'll just knock that off so I don't. So highlights in this area, so do that in, and I can even drop the exposure slightly. Down the mica contrast a bit. Might even put the, let's see, I mean that, yeah, that's fine. Now for the squirrel, let's just give it a little bit of sort of more sharpening, so mica contrast, force a little bit of detail. Might even just up the vibrancy a bit. It's looking good. Not a lot else needs doing. There's just a bright, I don't know what this is down here. I'm just going to get rid of that. I'm just going to. That's it. Just a little bit of vignette. So very quick edit that one. So we've gone from there to there. I'm just looking there. I need to get rid of that twig there, don't I? So just go back in and do a little bit more on the it's another one where I'm going to have to do it in two, this just to size a bit. I mean, a lot of people, you probably wouldn't even notice that, wouldn't have even noticed that was there, but once you see it, it's your own image. Once you see it, you see it. It's one of them things you have to do. Right, I'm quite happy with that now. So we've gone from there to there. We'll do one more. but I think you're getting the gist now. This is quite a nice image. Same again, that this looks like it was quite bright, but first thing I'll do a crop, and I think this, what did I take this at? 107mm. See, this is where I was obviously too slow. I mean, these red squirrels, they are very fast. The Scots, you know, they do run around quite fast. So I've snapped this off 107mm. I could have zoomed into 200mm and gone portrait, but I'd have probably missed the shot. So what I'm going to have to do, I'll do a crop as a portrait crop on this one. So I'll just go something like that. Zoom in. See what else we can do. I think I'm going to work totally on local adjustments on this one. I am. So, same again. It's an area because I want to pick the animal and this tree stump that it's on. So I'm just going to, let's see if it'll do it for me. Oh yeah, so it's done a good job. I mean, we've picked up a little bit this area here, but I wouldn't even bother about that. It's only very slight adjustments that I do, so you're not even going to notice it. Same again, duplicate that mask and invert it. What do we need to do? I'll just turn that mask off. What do we need to do? I'm going to drop the highlights, exposure down a bit. I can even, my usual, drop my mica contrast and me noise reduction. I can put that up. Drop them highlights a bit more, maybe. Can if I up the shadows? Not too bad. I'm trying to even out the exposure in the background. I don't want these highlights in the dark shadows. I'm trying to sort of level it out a bit, so it's not too bad. I could even drop. Let's try dropping the mid-tones a bit. That's good. Right, let's do the squirrel. Got a bit of mica contrast. Looking a little bit too magenta, so I'm just going to knock that down a little bit, maybe warm it up, the squirrel. Yeah, that's looking good. I'm just going to use the shadows then. I quite like that. Let's have a look how it's done for the noise reduction. Yeah, good job. I'm gonna like this lens. It looks like it's very good. Right. Well, let's do my usual little vignette around there. That was very quick. Edit. So gone from there to there. So if you can just see what I'm doing, I'm just making the animal like the centre, you know, like just giving it that little bit of pop. So, excuse me. So there we have it. That's another video, and like I say, that I thought that's why I'd just show you. If we haven't got a module, you know, maybe go in and just create a preset with some sharpening on for that. For that lens and camera combination. I'm sure DxO, I don't think they'll take too long in making a module for the OM1 and the 50-200 F2.8 Pro, which looking at these images, these sort of test images, I think I'm going to enjoy using the that lens. So right, thanks for watching. I've just remind you, I always forget to say actually that I have got a discount code for DxO Photolab. If you get 15% off if you use my discount code, it's Steve Miller 15. So if you'd like to, if you think you could start using DxO like I use it, it's 15% off. with a discount code. Right, thank you very much. Thanks for watching. Bye.